I had some really good responses from everyone about the extraction issue, and I also spoke to a couple of friends of mine. So Matthias suggested actually connecting the hose after the filter, although it would still work the way I am doing it, providing that the hose is larger. But the problem is for it to really work, the hose connecting the outside of the bag, which is the bottom of the drum, should be the same diameter as the inlet, or bigger in fact. But I also had some other comments. So Cyrus suggested that I put the sandwiches that his partner makes for him in my extractor. But essentially that would be the simplest solution, is to just put a bit of sawdust or some sort of scrap into the bag and leave it at that. What else is there? There were some suggestions about using the cage that originally came with the extractor, but I've already got rid of that. Maybe so smaller, it's hard to see. I still can't imagine what Ollie was referring to in terms of this device that Record sold to actually go into their drums. These are the list of solutions. If I zoom in a little bit. I actually spoke to a friend of mine who's a physicist, and he said that I needed to put a motor at the inlet, but obviously I wouldn't be able to put the same type of motor that I'm using on this extractor, so possibly an impeller. But the problem is, if I'm using an impeller, and possibly one that's more powerful than than the motor I've already got on board, there's not really any point having two. Although I did do something years ago where I daisy chained some extractors. It actually increased the air, the suction of the air going through the hose, the final one that was on this daisy chain. So I might link that to the video, because I still think that's up online somewhere. It's an old video. So another solution was to put ventilation holes in the bag, or use a porous material like paper. I wish there was some way of just drawing on something so you guys could see it as a video. But essentially, if this was the drum, I've actually seen this in some older extractors. It's a bit of like hose pipe, or no, it wasn't hose, a bit of PVC pipe, literally going to the bottom of the extractor, lots of holes drilled under this, and you pierce the bag when you put it on, pierce it there, that goes in. So there's the outer pipe, which either goes internally, as I was trying to do initially, or somehow transferring the area of low pressure after the filter, I think as Matthias suggested, to the outside bottom of the bag. And then I had a wild card idea here, just to plug another extractor in and shove it at the bottom of the bin. So anyway, I'm going to try a few different things and see what happens. So I got a bit of a PVC pipe and tried to heat it up and bend it, and I don't know why I thought this would work, because if you're going to try bend a pipe you need to put something in the pipe to stop it from buckling. So I gave up with that idea and made a little coupler block out of a bit of 2x2. I used a Forstner bit to drill a hole on one side and then through the top and join the holes together. I then cut the pipe to length and then glued it together. I was eyeballing it and I eyeballed it wrong, so I then cut that down a bit and drilled lots of holes in it. I don't know why I'm doing that. I think it should make a difference. I guess if it begins to draw air out of the bottom of the bag, the more holes there are, the more kind of hold onto the bag at the bottom, possibly. It didn't work as well as I thought it would, and I think the reason was because I'd actually didn't line up the inlet hose with the PVC pipe inside the drum. So it wasn't actually, the air that was moving in through the inlet wasn't actually contributing to drawing air through the pipe. And I thought I'd try and just overload the bag with sawdust from the other extractor. You can see it's completely caked with sawdust. It sort of worked eventually, but you can tell from looking at the bag, and especially the top of the extractor, the bag had lifted up before the weight of the sawdust had actually dropped the bag. Okay, so I've just cleaned the filter, and what I'm going to do is replace this. I actually tried to install this in the other extractor, but it fell off because I only used hot glue, and then I couldn't be bothered to fix it. But I'm going to try with this one just because it might give me a few options in terms of attaching things onto it, but also I don't have anything covering this filter, so I don't particularly want to get this too clogged up. So now I'm taping the bag up. This bag's a little bit more heavy duty than the previous one that I used. And then when I put the top of the extractor on, I make sure the inlet lines up with the PVC pipe on the inside. And I turned it on, turned it off, had a look, and it seemed okay. And then I put the hose back on, turned it on again, left it to run for a little while, turned it off, opened it up, and it's still lifted. No epoxy on that. So now I'm going to try Matthias's suggestion. I think he meant to put it at the bottom of the bag. I'm just drilling a hole into the top. It turns out it was fiberglass. I knew that. I don't know why I didn't think about that when I was doing it. So quickly hoovered that up, and I enlarged the hole at the bottom with a step bit, put a bit of PVC pipe in there and put the hose connected to that. I'm actually wearing a dust mask now because the motor is blowing the air out from the top. The motor is forcing air through that pipe that I've just put on the top, and it's actually pushing the bag up. So regardless of air pressure, that really didn't work. Then I tried to shove the hose in on itself, and it's just becoming slightly ridiculous now. I think I'm going to get a larger diameter hose and accept that this won't be an extractor that I attach to smaller devices. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit aware that this video is becoming quite long and I am waffling a little bit, so I'm just going to speed through the final things I did. I screwed the PVC tube onto the drum using some blocks of 2x2 that I drilled through using a Forstner bit. This allowed me to position the inlet just in front of the tube. So I just glued a massive bit of MDF to the top of the extractor to cover up the hole, and I put a couple of screws in to hold it in place as well using hot glue. I covered up the holes in the drum using heavy duty tape, and the final thing I did was actually put the GoPro inside and just throw a bit of dust, just out of curiosity to see what actually happens when some sawdust goes in. And you can see it does sort of spin around, it does a sort of cyclone around the outside of the drum, but the smaller particles are being drawn upwards. So what I might do is take a dust bag from another extractor, some sort of fabric filter, and just cover that drum ring. I hope you found that interesting. I know I've dragged on a little bit, and thanks for watching. Please let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below, and be sure to check out the information card for some of the relevant videos I mentioned earlier.